Hello, welcome back to Becoming Her, a weekly personal growth update that I, Clarissa, CEO and founder of She Rocks at College, started about 2 months ago. And this is where I basically show you the behind the scenes of what it takes mindset-wise, emotional-wise, action-wise to actually make your goal a reality. So for those of you who don't know, I call my goal process the becoming goal. And the goal that I have right now is that I'm working on hitting 100K within a year in my academic life coaching company that I've been running for the past almost 7 years. And this is going to be a really quick update because I am in the journey of becoming. I am past the pit of despair, and I am in what I call the self-confidence climb, which is probably the most boring part of the journey of becoming or reaching whatever goal it is that you have, because it's so mundane. What I mean by that is, at this point, it's just like continuing to show up. You have to be willing to stay committed, be willing to keep showing up, be willing to keep learning, and be willing to just stay in the game. And it is, quite honestly, you think that when you get to this point, you're going to be really excited and that it's going to be full of just all these things happening and all this progress. And yes, you do see a lot of progress, but it's not exciting. It feels like everyday life. And this is a really interesting thing that I'm relearning about actually being the person it is that you desire to be, the person that you would have to become in order to achieve the goal it is that you have for yourself. Is that once you're her, we think that our lives are going to drastically change, that we're going to feel drastically different. But what I'm realizing is that when you actually embody that version of you, like you're actually being her, it feels kind of normal. Like it's just like another day. And that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to do a really quick update and where we're at in terms of the goals. So last week, I think I said we were at 57,000 something for the year. I forgot to actually do the math for this episode, but we're at the same amount. No new income has come in. No new students have signed up to work with me one-on-one. No new students have signed up to work with me in my group coaching program, Educated, the Art of Becoming a Good Student. But we do have 91 students signed up for the Your Best Semester Yet Challenge, which is the challenge that I run twice a year. So in the beginning of the fall semester and beginning of the spring semester, and we do it to gear up for our big open launch of my group coaching program, Educated, the Art of Becoming a Good Student. So that was one result that I created last week. The other thing that I created was that I actually stuck to my workout plan, because that is another goal that I'm working on behind the scenes. And I planned my week out the week before, like I said I was going to do last week. I have not done my weekly review yet, but I'm going to be doing that today, because I was supposed to today record the pre-recorded videos of the Your Best Semester Yet Challenge. So a portion of the videos are going to be pre-recorded and they're going to be released at 8 in the morning inside of the private Facebook group. And then there's another portion of the videos which are going to be live streams, and those are happening in the evening. So I scheduled to film those videos for today, but I accidentally consumed a ridiculous amount of caffeine. So I ran out of coffee. Okay, if you're here, say hello. I ran out of coffee, and my husband purchases this coffee concentrate by this company called Jolt. And so I decided that I was going to use that this morning to make a latte, and I used 2 tablespoons of it, and apparently you're only supposed to use 1. And so I have now consumed double the amount of caffeine that I'm supposed to have in like an entire 24-hour period. And my anxiety is through the roof. I was eating lunch and I couldn't breathe, and I was like, what am I feeling? I came into the office and I'm like, it's so hot in here. And then there was like a random fly going around, and all I could hear was the stupid fly. I couldn't concentrate, and then my thoughts started going a million miles an hour, and I cannot focus. Like I can't even really tell you the words that are coming out of my mouth right now, because the level of anxiety that I'm feeling from all of this caffeine coursing through my body. You just have to keep in mind that the entire time that I was pregnant with my daughter, I did not have an ounce of coffee because I had an aversion to it when I was pregnant. And then she is 20 months, and pretty much the entire time that she's been earthside, I've been drinking decaf coffee. So for me to have a regular caffeinated drink sends me like already into the anxiety end of things, but I consume something like 300 and something milligrams of caffeine just now. And so I'm feeling it. And so I'm going to keep this short because I can barely concentrate, and you can probably hear it by the disorganized sentences that are coming out of my mouth. So we're exactly the same place where we were before. We did get 91 students enrolled into the program. I wrote some new emails. So those are things that I'm celebrating that I've created in my actual week. What's working really well is making sure that I have a really well managed mind. What I mean by that is I'm continuing the plan of focusing on what it is that I desire to create. One of the thoughts that I keep practicing, one of the beliefs that I keep practicing is I'm just going to let myself win. For such a long time, I was focusing on all the things that I was losing and all the ways that I hadn't made progress and all of the bad things that could potentially happen. And I was focused on all the lack. And I have decided to just really be in the energy of sufficiency. I'm on day 18 of really just appreciating all the things that I currently have. I've been doing that practice in the morning. I've missed 2 days technically. But when you're in a habit of something, like to me, as long as I don't miss 2 consecutive days in a row, then it's not like I don't treat it like I missed a day or that I have fallen off. I just kind of keep going. So I'm on day 18 of that, and that's working really well to just be in the energy of the things that I'm loving, that are things that are working, the things that I even want to, or that I imagine myself appreciating in the future. I've been doing those rampages of appreciation in the morning. So that's been working really well. Using the model, which is the coaching process that I take my students through inside of my academic life coaching process. So this is the way that I also use to coach myself, and the coaches that I have, that's the model that they use to coach me in. So I've been doing models every single day whenever I'm noticing that there's resistance or that I'm sort of slipping in my belief that this goal is as good as done, that it's inevitable. That's been working really well. And not a lot has shifted or changed. Like, honestly, this is the point in your path to actually achieving your goal where things get really mundane and it's just about showing up and continuing to show up. And again, I think that a lot of us think that when we become this version of ourselves, or we become the person who's consistent, when we become the person who gets the A's, when we become the person who achieves X, Y, and Z, that we're going to feel really different. And what I'm noticing is that it just feels like another day. It just feels kind of normal because you've already been in the energy of working towards that person. You've been practicing the emotions that you would feel when you get there. And it's like, it almost feels like I've already hit the 100K because I'm already being that person, even though it hasn't actually happened. It's just such an odd place to be because you expect yourself to be really excited, and to have like excitement isn't the emotion that you're going to feel. It's more like certainty, and certainty feels really, really calm. And that's where I'm at right now. It's like, if I know that if I just keep doing what I'm doing and I keep showing up and I keep practicing believing and I keep willing to feel the emotions and I keep willing to keep going and I keep willing to learn new skills and willing to show up and I just stay on the path, that I'm going to get there eventually. And so that's why this update feels like I don't really have much to share, because this is the point in the journey where it's just about consistency. Like, I already worked through all of the muck. I was in the pit of despair and feeling the emotions and working through the pit of despair and bringing up my belief and choosing myself and doing all of the hard work since August, right? And so now I have reached the self-confidence climb, which is all about just being in the process of creating. It's like I'm already that version of myself and I just got to keep showing up as her. So there really isn't much to update y'all on this week. Plus, like I said, my thoughts are going a million miles an hour because of all the caffeine that I had. And so I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. If you are a college student keeping up with these updates and you have not gotten your butt into the Your Best Semester Yet challenge, what the hell are you waiting for? It's a free experience, but you're going to want to show up like you paid $2,000 for it because it's going to be that good. I'm going to teach you how to create a schedule, how to create a study plan, and how to actually stick to it all semester long, because we know that that last bit is really what you're struggling with. And if you do those 3 things and you learn what it is that I'm going to teach you inside of this challenge, you're going to have your best semester yet. The link to sign up for that challenge will probably be in the description box at some point when I actually get my brain focused enough to put it into the description. But for this week, this is the update that I have. What's working is everything that I've been doing, so I'm going to keep doing it. What's not working, I don't even have anything for that, because the things that are not working, I'm not focusing on doing. I'm just focusing on what is working. And we're at where we're at in terms of the actual goal, because time has to pass in order to create more income. So I just got to keep showing up and doing the work, because I know that if I do that, inevitably the result is going to be more students enrolled in the program, more students signing up to work with me one-on-one, and then the 100K becomes inevitable. So I right now am in the self-confidence climb of the becoming journey, where it feels boring as hell and like you have nothing to update people on. I will see you all next week. Bye.